August 4th, 2006. It's my 10th birthday party. My parents invited all 3 of my friends and any kid from my grade that my mom had the parents' contact information for. We're out in the backyard, playing in the in-ground pool, developing important social skills and cherished memories. But none of it matters. None of it imprints on my mind. Because all of a sudden, 5:30 p.m. rolls around, and I escape into the basement with the one friend who knows what's up. Bailing out on my own birthday party for something that mattered more to me than celebrating a decade of life. Pokemon Advanced Battle was on, baby! It was the second part of the 2-parter where Groudon was introduced, and we didn't have TiVo yet, so I had to watch it then and there, and I literally remember nothing else about that day. Not important. What matters is I love Pokemon so much. Although I didn't get my first Nintendo console until I was in high school when I traded some art for my friend's old 3DS. So for a long time, I only really had the trading card game, and I wasn't good at it. And then I had the show. And then a lot of emulators. If you're as much of a mess as I am, you've probably heard that the next generation is coming out this year. I have mixed feelings. But the new gen means new Pokemon, and new Pokemon means everybody has been talking favorites. Favorite everything. Of all things. Anything Pokemon related. So I guess I'm kind of hopping on the trend. I didn't mean to when I did this, but I guess I am. But in all honesty, it's been a while since I've really gone through and figured out what my top Pokemon are of the generations that we have. And I think, of course, I guess along with everybody else, now is the best time to go through that before any more Pokemon of the newest game are leaked. So I went to this website, left all the settings on, and went through the process of narrowing down my favoriteest little pocket monsters, which, including regional variants and alternate forms, is a digestible 1,399 Pokemon. This is the most emotionally tumultuous thing I've done all year. Let's go! We're off to the races. We start off strong. I'm looking at 20 Pokemon at a time, and I'm only picking 1 or 2 at a time to keep. I'm running through the numbers like a speed demon, although my recording accidentally cut off the number counter for like half the video, but whatever! I'm doing it, and I'm confident in my Pokemon narrowing abilities until I get to a point where I'm picking everything on screen. Okay, no problem. No problem. You know what? I've been sloppy up until now anyways. Let's clean it up a little bit because, of all of the variants and such, I've got duplicates all over. Because female Blaziken and male Blaziken needed to be separate entities. Because there is a strong difference. So I cut out duplicates, I chose one form of Pokemon that have many alternates like Minior, and I also start eliminating Pokemon that are part of the same evolution line. I'm just picking my favorite of the line, and I deign it to represent the collective moving forward into subsequent rounds. Although Vaporeon and Sylveon stick around for a bit longer than they should have, because how am I supposed to pick? Like, one is born of water, which is my favorite of the elements. I think every water starter is on this list at one point. And then the other is born of how much affection it has for its trainer. Do I choose love or water? Evolve from how much you love me? Or evolve when it gets wet? Once I hit the 60s, conveniently when the number counter comes back, the grid has shrunk and decision-making is becoming more and more strenuous. I'm passing way too often, and finally decide to start eliminating Pokemon that I like, but I've never really used on a team before, so I don't really know that well personally, which is a lot of legendaries that have made it this far because of how the movies or the show has affected me. I still hold fond memories of watching Pokemon Heroes with my friend, and her mom busting into the living room like, "What is screaming so much on the TV? Are they killing it? What is wrong with it?" And it's like, "No, Mom, that's just the sound that Latias makes." It should not!
Formal apology to Mrs. W. This memory is so far back in the reaches of my mind, I don't remember where you're from, and I know that this accent is not accurate. Miss W, you're a real one, promise, I'm sorry.
I'm going down the list, decision fatigue is hitting me, and once it gets down to the 30s, I finally break from trying to decide between which caterpillar to keep, Wurmple or Snom. One is a cute bug that has a beautiful branching evolution. The other is Snom. This decision is so difficult, I elect to call it a night and return to this hellscape in the morning. My dreams do not offer me rest. Next morning, we are back at it, and in this phase, my approach is to narrow down favorites of archetypes. Who's my favorite bug? Who's my favorite starter? Who's my favorite haunted floating orb creature that likes to eat children? I may have 2 custom plushies of this one, but there are many on this list that I wish I could hold physically. You're not special. I return again to the age-old question of the evolutions. Do I prefer water or love? Which represents me in the best of my love for the line of evolutions? This was a harder decision than it should have been. I have a custom shiny Eevee t-shirt. This is very important. Can I live without water, or can I live without love? For some reason, the wet one wins. I can't entirely explain why. In the 20s, we move on to the next phase. Whomst has a evolution line that I don't love. I want my top 10 to be Pokemon that I'm not ashamed of any awkward phase in between, and I don't want Pokemon where I will refuse to ever evolve them, which, surprisingly, considering all the Pokemon surrounding it, I really like Scoliped's full evolution, front to back. I don't know what it is, but this Bug Centaur line works for me. In the teens, and I am stressed. I'm starting to worry if all my decisions up to this point have been true and honest to myself and my likes. And then I realize I've totally exposed a personal bias when I spend forever trying to decide between 3 dog Pokemon. God damn it, they're all such good boys. How can you pick the best good boy? Eventually, after some painstaking soul-searching, I decide I don't love the night evolution of Lycanroc, and Rockruff gets voted off, in favor of a tiny rabid hyena whose evolution looks like he's suffering from male pattern baldness. That's better to me somehow. So now, we're getting down to the wire. In no particular order, we got Poochyena, Vulpix, Vaporeon, Togekiss, Corsola, Shinx, Arcanine, Clobbopus, Rowlet, Pachirisu, and Latias. This fucker made it. I'm sorry, it's still my favorite Pokemon movie. I also made a plushie for it. I have nothing else to say about the sentient jet plane. Clobbopus goes because I have to admit to myself, I'd prefer to never evolve him. I don't mind his evolution, but he is small and round and mad. Next out is Togekiss. Even though my love for Toki Pri increased immensely when this evolution came out, I have to be honest with myself, and I am still disappointed in this middle child Togetic. If it was just Togekiss, you might have made it, buddy, but you had to have Togetic, you just had to. Next out was Vulpix, because, look, I chose Alolan Vulpix as a representative because this ice fairy is cute as shit, and I love both versions of Ninetales. But if I'm going to be completely honest with myself, whenever it came to picking version exclusives between generations 1 through 3, they'd always make you pick between Growlithe and Vulpix every time, even in all the remakes. I'd pick the one with Growlithe, because Vulpix is cute, but it's not as cute, in my opinion. I'm so sorry. Shinx got booted next because, even though it's adorable, and its evolution line is badass, God, I'd be glad to watch this emo lightning lion grow up to be its full potential, but sometimes, when I look at Shinx, its head looks like an A-palm and I panic. Corsola's out next because, I have to admit, I don't understand what I like about this tiny round centaur. I love the regular form, I love the Galarian form, I love its evolution into Cursula, but for the life of me, I cannot figure out why. I've never used it before in a game. It is ingrained in my brain as cool, maybe because Misty had one? I don't know. It's going because it confuses me how much I like it. I have 5 left to eliminate, and I take forever on this elimination, cycling through over and over and over again until finally I decide to knock out. Next, Rowlet goes, my perfect round boy, because even though he has one as my favorite starter, his middle evolution, once again, not awful, not the best, bud. You do look like Matt Smith, but I don't know. Oh, this one hurt though. Pachirisu goes next, which is once again, I don't understand how he outlasted everybody. Especially Rowlet and Latias. I don't think I've ever used him, as far as I can recall. I haven't really played through the Diamond and Pearl games, not even the reboots. I'm still working on Arceus, but of all the generations, Pachirisu is the cutest electric rodent Pokemon. Fight me. Vaporeon goes next, although it should have gone earlier for the I don't love every evolution phase, because seeing Glaceon in action weirds me out every time. It doesn't look icy to me. I'm gonna get flack for that, but like, I'll use it, but And finally, the last two Pokemon, Poochyena versus Growlithe. The two edgiest dog Pokemon. Of course, the last choice is between two dogs. And damn, is it difficult! I end up Google searching images to compare. Growlithe is a loyal sweetheart who reminds me of like every large dog breed, and he's super happy and sweet. But at the same time, I was introduced to Pokemon in Generation 3, so before I could even play the games, Poochyena had been a long-time favorite of mine. I even made a custom shirt with this gremlin on it. It's really cute. I would have made one for Growlithe, but I had to choose between silver and gold, and I wear more silver, and that has nothing to do with which one is my favorite, which is supposed to be the topic at hand. Anyways, I end up Google searching them both to make sure I've got the full picture, and with the whole picture, I have to admit, I'm not the biggest fan of the Hisuian form of Growlithe. It's fine, but at the time of recording, I haven't played Legends Arceus by that point, and I don't know if that would have changed my mind when making this decision. Meanwhile, Mightyena is an edgy badass who's a wolf-hyena hybrid. But is he a cooler dog evolution than Arcanine? They're both good boys, but who's the goodest boy? After much debate, Growlithe won the top spot by process of elimination. He is declared my favorite Pokemon. And with that, it was over, right? Wrong. You see, how this particular Pokemon picker works, it narrows down to 1, and then, in order to get the top 10, it feeds back the Pokemon you just painstakingly eliminated one by one to figure out what your top 10 is. And somehow, this hurt more! And my dumbass forgot I was recording the whole thing, and post-production Aileen would be able to know what the top 10 were just by watching it back. So I went through it anyways, and it hurt. Here's a live explanation as to why. I'm having such a mental breakdown because I've gone through 1,000 Pokemon. I have narrowed down 1,000 Pokemon, and from 60, I've been having a hard time, like, justifying going down and down and down, and then I finally picked the number 1, and the thing is that the way it's designed is that it narrows you down to the top 10, so I, like, internally crying, narrowed down to 1, and then in order to get the others, it rehashes the ones that I just knocked off the list. Aww. So I have to go back and I'm like, cool, I have to keep going. I have to go back and it's like, oh, I haven't seen you in like 4 turns. And it's been so long and this doesn't matter, but it matters to me. I'm having a bad time.
I'm enjoying your pain though.
So, after a mental breakdown, here's my top choices, I guess, in proper order. And I have to say, not only am I emotionally exhausted, I am not satisfied. What is this lineup? What is Vaporeon doing this high up? Why am I upset that Corsola is lower than Shinx? Why do I care about Corsola? I thought this would give me better insight into my own mind, but I feel like I know myself less. Like, something about rounding down to this feels wrong to me. There's plenty of other Pokemon I go rabid for when I see them out in the wild. The scream I uttered when I found my first Yamper, the disappointment I felt from finding out that Noibat comes so late in the game. Like, I wish I had him the whole time. And then Tropius, Actually, I don't know what generation is Tropius from. Like Johto? I'm not entirely sure if it's a Pokemon or a strange fever dream I had as a child. But damn it, I would be down to use this flying palm tree dinosaur on my team if it exists in the games. It is not something I made up. Narrowing down from a list of every single Pokemon all the way to find my number one was upsetting more than anything I thought I was going to get out of it. And now I don't know what to do with the information I've been given. I feel like I gotta disappear into the woods and rediscover myself or something. Anyways, I hope I didn't directly diss one of your favorites, and if I did, I hope you don't hate me for it. Honestly, I love way too many Pokemon, and by the time I got to like hour 2, I was starting to just make bad excuses in order to narrow things down, and I don't like it. But at the end of the day, my opinion means only as much to you as you let my opinion affect you, and yeah, that's about it. Despite the lack of drawing in this video, I have the ability to draw. Check out my social media for that. And there you will also find my commission information if you're at all interested in purchasing art from me. I also have a Redbubble. It's got stuff on it. I didn't pick who's to highlight. Here's a highlight. Oh, there it is. Look at all that highlighting of the shop. It's there. Please buy from it. Anyways, I'm tired. I'm gonna go buy some life-size Pokemon plushies to compensate for my feelings.